Hi, I'm gonna show you how I transformed this Ikea bag to something pretty cool using my 100-year-old Zinger sewing machine. Because every once in a while you need a project that's dumb but crazy fun. This is the fun stuff, before I get back to serious work. I've just arrived home from a serious Ikea trip to buy only the essentials, and as you can see, I was rocking this absolutely stylish Ikea bag. Yeah, that is clearly signature Ikea style, and no home can do without one. But as I was unpacking, I noticed that my beautiful Ikea bag had a hole in the bottom. This was devastating. I had to do something to upcycle this piece of beautiful Swedish craftsmanship. So I set myself a challenge. I was going to design a product made entirely out of this Ikea bag, and I could only use components found on this Ikea bag. This required concentration, focus, to cut every single piece of this bag immaculately to be able to give a new life to them. After a quick trip in the washing machine, they were ready to be handled, and thankfully a design has already popped in my head. I don't mean to brag, but I do have some experience with bag design, and I thought that I could probably design a pretty cool Eastpak style, old school 2000s backpack that could look really cool in this color combination. Besides that, there isn't that much fabric for anything else, so I had to be really careful with my scissors. Let me tell you a bit about the bag making process. I only designed one template for this bag because I really don't need anything else and I can just go by feel. So I pretty much cut out the front, the back, and also the sides. That is the desired thickness of the bag that I want to have. This will determine how much IKEA stuff I can put inside. But it obviously needs a zipper so that you can open it and you can put stuff inside. And I want the zipper to be on the middle of the side of the backpack. That's why you can see me cutting this desired thickness in half. Something that is cool about the original backpack is that there are two carriages on the zipper. And that is great because I need one carriage to open the main pouch of the backpack, but I can also use the other carriage to design a front pocket. So I drew the desired size of the pocket onto the backpack, added this decorative strap, and then cut the template in half so as to transfer the size onto the fabric. And I wasn't going to need the template anymore since I cut out the front and the back of the backpack. This is where I encountered my first problem. I wasn't going to be able to work with this material when it was this crumpled. I mean, I could do it, but it would look terrible as an end product. So I experimented and I found that by using an iron and actually flattening out with some pressure, I could weld together the strands of plastic that were in this, and this created a beautiful, malleable and definitely sewable piece of fabric. So it was on to the grind. I had to iron out every single panel that I was going to include in this bag. And this took quite some time. But I took care and I treated the material with the respect that it deserves, and the results speak for themselves. Just so you know, this is the highest form of recycling. I improved upon the material by simply investing a bit of time. Now onto this behemoth of a sewing machine from the 1900s. As you can see, I could not roll this thing around because the sheer weight would dent my flooring, even though this sewing machine comes equipped with wheels. And sure, I could have used my brand new heavy-duty Zinger model from the 2020s, but that just isn't me. I mean, this machine requires love, care, and a practiced hand. Let me show you how this works. This bobbin holds the bottom thread, which you can wind up with the included winding mechanism. This mechanism was the most fun to rebuild in my rebuilding series. It is super complex and yet it works flawlessly, even without any electric motors. Even though I don't have the correct bobbin size, it still works by just holding one finger on the mechanism and using your legs to wind it up. After this is done, I can finally thread in the bobbin and put it in to the bottom half of the sewing machine. After that's done, I can move on to the top thread. And as always, that comes with the usual dance of trying to figure out how on earth I did it the last time, where each tension part goes, and if I should watch a YouTube video on how to do this, because I really don't want to mess it up. But eventually I got there, and finally the workpiece is ready for sewing. First, I'm gonna start off with the side of the backpack, because this seems like the easiest part that I can do. I even opened up this service hole for you guys so you can admire the absolute beauty of this machine. However, there are some caveats. For example, there is no backstitch on this machine. So if you want to strengthen the ends of all your sewing, then you basically need to rotate the workpiece around and go over it twice or 3 times in this case. But there is a small price to pay for the control you get by having a direct mechanical connection between your feet and the workpiece that you are sewing. Okay, first stitch done, many to go. And as always, I sew zippers down twice, because I cannot be bothered to find glue or bobby pins to pin them down, so first I stitch them on there, and then I fold over and stitch them once again. This way the zipper will function correctly and my stitch will be nice and flat and the backpack will look awesome. I've never learned sewing professionally, so this is pretty much just guesswork and things I've figured out over the years. But this technique for sewing zippers worked for me quite well, so I still keep using it. And if you have any other suggestion, then please let me know. After doing the other side, the whole thing is done and the sides of the backpack are complete. Or I mean the side of the backpack, since it is one piece, but it's going to serve as both the left and the right side. What really simplified back construction for me is thinking in panels. So this is going to be my front panel. I want a pocket on it, and I'm going to sew the front panel complete before I can attach it to the entire backpack, if that makes sense. This manner of thinking helps because it keeps the order of operations in check, which is, I think, one of the most important things in sewing in general. Because obviously you couldn't add a pocket onto the backpack after it has been assembled, because then you would just sew through the front and the back and sew them together. That's why you really need to pay attention to what you want before you actually do it and kind of plan out the order of operations. And thinking in panels really helped me in that, and I hope it helps you too. Even in this simple case, when I'm just making the front panel, I'm assembling first the pocket in its entirety, and then I'm going to sew it onto the front panel. And then that is finished, and then I can assemble that to the entire backpack. Even when you're doing a project that is quite dumb, in a sense this project is quite dumb, because I won't probably wear this bag, but even when you're doing something like this, it's nice to know that you have all these routines set up in your mind on how a bag should look, how a bag should be assembled, and you can just go through each step knowing that you have already mastered the difficult parts and kind of enjoy the craft in the process. That's really fun for me. I mean, that's what this whole channel is about. It's about doing things that I love to do, and this entire sewing machine was completely disassembled and reassembled, and that was probably a bit pointless, but still I got to understand how this machine worked, and now actually sewing something on it is so fun and so rewarding. Anyhow, unfortunately at this part I had to bring out the big guns, so I had to fix something in place before I actually sewed it on, because I didn't want to mess this up. So alignment of this front pocket was quite critical, and that's why you could see me use some double-sided sticky tape to tape it on first and then fold it down, and the front panel is assembled. Obviously there's a bit more work to do since I added a lot of seam allowance since I was making up the dimensions as I went. So after cutting it down to size, the front panel will be complete. Then I can finally move on to the rear panel, which will have way more stuff on it, but way less sewing. As you can see, now my seam allowance is absolutely equal on all sides of the backpack. That means that the front panel is really assembled, and I quite like the look of it. The symmetric Ikea logos look pretty cool. Now for the rear panel. If I wanted to add an inner pocket, then this would be the time to do it, but since I don't, because this is a simple project, I'm just gonna move on to the straps. I want to have straps on the bottom, and for this I'm gonna employ some metal hardware, and I know this isn't in the original Ikea bag, so this is a bit of cheating, but the thread wasn't in the original Ikea bag, and you know, you have to bend the rules a bit. One way I could have mitigated this is by making the straps a fixed length, so basically just sewing on one long piece of strap and calling it a day, but I wanted this to be a comfortable bag and to be able to be worn by different sized people, not just me, so that's why I had to do a bit of cheating. I've made a short handle for the bag, and I find that this is really important on backpacks, and I really hate backpacks that do not have this. But you may be wondering why I sewed it on the wrong way, and that's because it's going to be folded over and it's going to pop out eventually when I do the final construction. On the original bag, I noticed that there were these two strap things that were hanging on from the bottom, and I really wanted to use them because they would be quite nice. They would add a bit of zhuzh to the backpack, so yeah, I added them. And after adding the backpack straps, the back panel is pretty much complete. Now I can finally move on to the assembly. So here's my strategy. I'm first going to sew on the side of the bag to the back panel. And I want to make sure that I sew it on symmetrically because that just looks nice. So I obviously didn't measure out the length of the side, and I didn't measure out the length of these curves on the side, so I'm going to sew from the top, from the middle of each one, and yeah, that makes an operation take two operations, but it will be perfectly symmetrical in the end product, so that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. And another corner I cut is not sewing the side of the backpack together with the bottom of the backpack. So to get around this, I've left a bit of a gap, and that's going to come in handy, and I will show you a bit later. But as you can see, the handle for the bag turned out the correct way. Now for the bottom. I purposely overcut this, so I have a lot of seam allowance, but I can just sew it on with the same method that I used for the top, basically doing it from the middle and going out, and then I can sew it together with the side of the bag after the fact. This will leave me with a perfect finish, but it takes a bunch more steps than if I had just measured it out. After finishing both sides, I can attach the front panel. And I'm pretty much gonna use the same method, so start out from the top and go down each side symmetrically, and this way I hopefully will meet at the same point in the end. In case you were wondering, I'm not always this lazy, and I usually make my sewing patterns in AutoCAD, and that way every dimension fits perfectly to everything else. But this time I was feeling quite lazy, and the project was way more fun this way. So, as I'm turning this bag inside out, let me know what you think about this project, and if you would take a shot at bag construction from viewing this. And what do you think about this sewing machine? Did you like it? Would you like to see more of these videos? If you do, then please subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up if you've liked what you've seen. With that said, all that's left is to try this IKEA bag out and take it shopping to IKEA. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks and bye bye.